It was a familiar position. One industry was on the rise, while the other was poised to crumble. The perfect storm had been brewing in the video game industry, and in 1983, that storm hit. Everyone had wanted a piece of that pie, and as a result, there was a massive oversaturation of product. There were too many games, too many consoles, and not enough regulation. Everyone jumped on the bandwagon and made a game, but hardly any made them good. And just like the NBA and ABC in the 70s, Atari would make a catastrophic error. Atari bought the rights to produce a game for the movie E.T. The resulting game is notoriously bad, and having made 5 million cartridges, Atari was in the hole. It got so bad, they buried a fortune's worth of Atari product in the New Mexico desert. They were the most visible example of the phenomenon, but no one was exempt. Companies would fold before their games even hit shelves, meaning retailers couldn't get a refund if their game tanked. So this shovelware, as it's called, was thrown into bargain bins, devaluing the industry and starting the loop for other companies all over again. The North American crash had peaked. It seemed the North American video game market evaporated overnight. That said, fewer new consoles meant more time to watch the new golden age of basketball. It wasn't a bad way to pass the time. The North American video game market began its long road to recovery in 1986. That same year saw the release of Dribble from Konami in arcades. This game brought presentation to a whole new level. It had crowds gathering, it had the national anthem, it had a dribble button, but maybe its most famous presentation choice is the cutaway to special dunk animations. Imagine how radical this feature would have been to new eyes. And as memorable as the game itself was, this game holds another distinction that makes it worth mentioning. It was the first basketball game on the NES. The NES, or Nintendo Entertainment System, arrived in North America in late 1985. Nintendo found success for its console in Japan in the years prior and decided to test it out on the now barren North American market. It was a hit. Finally, there was a console that seemed to have figured out the home market, and the NES became the most popular bridge to home gaming. By 1986, the NES was widely released and widely played. And speaking of eventualities, the NBA caught wind of its future in April of 1986. The '86 Celtics, considered one of the greatest teams in NBA history, was wrapping up a sweep of the lowly Chicago Bulls. That wasn't surprising. What was surprising was that the Bulls' young star, Michael Jordan, scored 63 points in the game, a playoff record that stands to this day. It signaled to the league that something was brewing in Chi-Town. It was pretty clear that Nintendo and Michael Jordan were going to be big players in their industries. What came next in that regard was predictable. What no one saw coming was how these titans of their respective fields would change the world as we know it.